effort to pull these runs back. Leading off is Jean Lutton, playing at second base.
Well, this is going to be quite exciting for the crowd. They're going to see this Black Sox team try and fight back against Australia, chasing 5 runs.
Lutton fouls the ball off. 2 strikes.
I think New Zealand, what does New Zealand average? 7 runs a game in the series, so the 5 that Australia has put on board certainly aren't out of reach, especially with scoring 13 last game, but most importantly, it all has to start in this first innings.
So Jean Lutton facing the pitching of Neal Delpero.
Yes, we saw Delpero open the first test for Australia. He was removed in the 3rd inning after he gave up 3 runs, 2 of those on an automatic by Jared Martin.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Jean Lutton. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the Australians have made this a really interesting battle by having got ahead by so much so early, with the New Zealanders having dominated so comprehensively, particularly in Test 3.
High pitch from Delpero loads the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
A good job by Jean Lutton just before that pitch. He stepped out, broke up the rhythm that Neal Delpero was starting to build up on the mound and just slowed down the tempo. Very good job for a lead-off hitter to control the tempo of the first innings.
Oh, Lutton left it thinking it was going to be a ball, and he strikes out for the first out of the innings after what had been a good at-bat for him. Brings to bat Stacey McLean. 1 down, bottom of the first. So Stacey McLean playing in left field. Made his Black Sox debut in 1998, but an injury then kept him off the international scene for a while. And he returned to the team for the Tour de Canberra earlier this year. Someone the selectors will be looking at with the 2004 World Series in mind. Called strike on McLean, 2 strikes.
Stacey McLean featured in Test 2. Sacrifice bunt, a ground out and a strikeout, so he's yet to collect a hit in this series.
Certainly came in hitting the ball well, carried some good form from the Doreen Dalton tournament into this series.
So 2 strikes on Stacey McLean. One ball, 2 strikes. Delpero plays out of Western Australia. Throws one in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Delpero, another player who was selected for the Australian team for that series in Canberra, but didn't play. Personal commitments kept him out of that, and returning for this tour. As McLean sends the ball into left field, he'll get down first, looking at second. No, happy with 1. And Stacey McLean gets things underway for the Black Sox in the bottom of the first innings. The first hit of what they hope will be many in this game, because they have to pull back 5 runs just to level the scores. And Stacey McLean gets them underway.
Stacey opening his account in the series here with a nice drive down the 3rd baseline. As you saw Peter Clout, the Australian 3rd base, maybe 2 metres off the base path, and that allowed the ball from Stacey to go by.
Brings to bat Jared Martin, the New Zealand captain.
We'll be heartened by just getting a run on the board here in the first innings, maybe 1 or 2 runs, coming right back at them.
Called strike on Martin. Strike number 2.
Jared Martin with an automatic home run in the first test, another one in the 3rd. He's collected 6 automatic home runs against Australia in the last 14 months.
Well, what he wouldn't give for one now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on base is Stacey McLean. Good swing and a miss for Jared Martin, sends him back to the dugout. Strikeout, 2 down. So disappointment for Jared Martin with the runner on base and the Black Sox 5-0 down. He'd have been hoping to start to get things going for them. Let's see if Thomas Markier can do it. Some nice work in centre field from Markier during this series. Certainly a classy fielder, and we know he's a world-class batter. Called strike.
And there we see Lindsay Edwards giving quite a bit of width to Delpero, establishing the zone as being towards the outside of the plate as well.
Inside pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike. Yes, you can hear that noise from the Australian dugout, definitely a bit louder. They're all up out of their seats, all up at the fence. Plenty of encouragement for their pitcher, Neal Delpero. Three balls, 1 strike, the count on Markier. The runner still on first is McLean. Oh, Delpero walks Markier, and New Zealand have 2 runners on base.
Well, that was a very good pitch from Delpero.
Markier walks for what seems to be the upteenth time in this series to date. Got a great eye at the plate, very disciplined.
There's
Another runner on base.
There's John Tricker, the New Zealand coach. You have to wonder what's going through his head at the moment. 5 runs down.
John's normally a pretty calm type of guy. In all the years I played with him, and as a player and certainly as a coach, he never tended to get tense or uptight. Always level-headed, very positive.
Donnie Hale now with the chance to get New Zealand back into this game. 2 runners on base. Inside pitch, ball 1.
It's going to be good for Don to see the way that his players respond to this pressure as well. They certainly haven't been under this sort of pressure in this Test series up until now. So although he'll be a little bit tense, he'll also be pleased with the test this is going to be for his players.
Well, you're right, because you say, you know, how long is it since the Black Sox have been 5 runs down? Well, here's a chance for them to chase 5 runs and see how they go. They wouldn't choose to be in the situation, I'm sure. So these games go the regulation 7 innings. And Donnie Hale sends this one into centre field, where the fielder makes a fantastic catch out there. What a great catch that was by the centre fielder, David Newsom. Well, it looked like it might have cleared his head there, but he jumped. And it was, I think that's possibly the best catch we've seen in this series. A lovely piece of fielding.
Donnie Hale hitting the ball on a line here to centre field, firing out there, and you see Goolagong go back and make a great leap and snared the ball, and possibly could have even gone over the fence if he hadn't caught it.
Yes, it was. In fact, it was Jeff Goolagong in centre field. And the Black Sox are retired after their first turn at bat without scoring, and they continue to trail by 5 runs to 0. That's a great catch. Good play by Jeff Goolagong, and it denies the Black Sox scoring opportunity in their first turn at bat. Australia come out on the top of the second looking to add to their score. They lead by 5 runs to 0. And they'll be at the bottom of their order. It'll be Goolagong who made that fantastic catch leading off when we return for the top of the second.